Hey everyone! So today I'd like to show you a Blue Eyes Fusion deck profile. This deck profile utilizes a lot of the Blue Eyes Fusion monsters. So before I get started, I'd like to remind you to like, comment, and subscribe to help me with the algorithm and to make sure that you can see more of the content that I post in the future. Anyway, let's get into it. Triple Blue Eyes White Dragon. Pretty standard. You use it to summon alternative, and you're also using it as fusion material a lot, so you need 3. Triple Blue Eyes alternative. This one is also pretty necessary. Considered Blue Eyes White Dragon on the field and in the grave, and easy to summon. Also, one of the monsters in our extra deck gets a benefit off of being summoned with one of those as material. Then the one Dragon Spirit of White, just to help out back row. Then we've got Triple Alistair the Invoker to search our invocations. I'm also playing a invoked engine in this deck, just to help get to an invoke monster on the field as well as a Blue Eyes Fusion, and then also for the plays with invocation, you can use it to summon one of the other monsters as well. One of the Blue Eyes monsters. You've got Triple King of the Swamp. You can discard this to get a polymerization, or you can use it as a substitute for a fusion material, which is always helpful. We've got Triple Sage with Eyes of Blue. You can use this to search a tuner, which is going to be your White Stone of Legend, not Ancient, Legend, because you want to get your Blue Eyes in hand and use the Legend White Stone to do that. You can also use it on King of the Swamp. You summon King of the Swamp, get its effect off, then tribute it with Sage to get a Blue Eyes monster on the field for fusion material. Then we have triple White Stone of Legend and 1 White Stone of Ancients. You really don't want to be summoning a lot of things during the end phase. Your main goal is to summon them during your main phase to use in this fusion material, and to get as many Blue Eyes White Dragons in your hand as possible during that time to make it possible. You want to run as many White Stone of Legend as you can. Then we have our spells. Triple Melody of Awakening Dragon to search your alternatives and your Blue Eyes White Dragons. Like, one thing that's good to do with this is use this, discard the White Stone of Legend for cost, search a Blue Eyes White Dragon and a Blue Eyes alternative. Then you get another Blue Eyes White Dragon search. You summon the alternative and then use a fusion spell to go into one of your ultimate dragons. Then we have triple Return of the Dragon Lords to bring back some of the things that you used as material for a fusion summon. So then you can just have a little bit more board presence. Got triple Odd Eyes Fusion. It's mainly in there for just another fusion spell to have. You don't really get a lot of benefit off of its secondary effect with the Odd Eyes monsters. Got triple Polymerization. You kind of need that in this deck. Plus, King of the Swamp searches it. Got double Dragon Shrine to help you send your White Stone of Legend to grave. Got double Magical Meltdown, so your fusion spells can't be negated. And then we also have that for searching Alistair to get to your invocations more easily. Speaking of invocations, we have 2 invocation. Search by Alistair can summon one of your invoked fusion monsters, or it can be used to summon one of the alternative ultimate or the Neo ultimate from your extra deck. Got double Cards of Consonance. Again, you want to get those White Stone of Legends in grave as fast as you can to get your Blue Eyes monsters into your hand for your fusion summons. Dragon Ravine, again to help you with that. And then Silver's Cry to revive one of your Blue Eyes White Dragons that you sent. One thing that's really fun to do with this is if you have a White Stone of Legend in your hand, you discard that for cost and then send another one. So then you get the 2 Blue Eyes White Dragons in your hand to use as material for your fusion summon, like really easily. Going into our extra deck, we have Blue Eyes Alternative Ultimate Dragon. This one pops things like the traditional Blue Eyes Alternative, but if a Blue Eyes Alternative was used as material for its fusion summon, it can pop up to 3 things. So having a 4500 beater that can pop 3 things on your board, on your opponent's board, is really useful. Then we've got triple Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate. If it's the only thing on the board, it can attack up to 3 times based on how many other Blue Eyes fusion monsters you have in your extra deck that you can send to grave for it. So potentially you can go for game really easily with that, because you get 3 attacks with a 4500 beater. You got 3 Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. That's in there just for the Neo Ultimate. You're not going to want to summon that like ever, unless you're just being gimmicky and want to have fun with it, which is perfectly fine by me. Then we've got Twin Burst, triple of it. Sometimes you have to go into this one because you just don't have the materials for your Ultimate Dragons, and that's okay because this one's pretty good too. You can also Contact Fuse into this, which is helpful. This one cannot be destroyed by battle. It can attack up to twice per battle phase on monsters, and if monsters aren't destroyed by battle with it, they get banished instead. So you might so if you want to out something that's bigger than it or something that's problematic, you can attack into it with that. You might take a little damage, but it's worth it to banish the thing. Then we've got double Makaba. You're running basically all light monsters in this deck, and with the invocations, it's helpful to have this in there to help negate things. Then your only non-fusion monster is another negate. It's Hope Harbinger Dragon. Overlay into this with 2 level 8s, and then when your opponent does something that it can negate, it sucks it up. So they don't get to send it to grave, and then they don't get to get any kind of advantage off of that. Like one thing that I think was popular with that in Sky Striker format was sucking up your opponent's Engage. Engage is banned now, thankfully, so we don't have to worry about that anymore, but it's useful to have that. So then for our side deck, we have Alistair, Invoker of Madness, to help you get another invocation if you need it. We got double Sphere Mode. This is mainly in there for really outing like a really problematic board that you have to play into. We've got 1 Ash Blossom. Got double Called by the Grave to stop your opponent's hand traps. This is another deck like the Chaos Max Dragon deck profile I did a bit ago that can really be hurt by hand traps, so having this is kind of necessary. Got double Twin Twisters to out your opponent's back row, because playing into a deck that is heavy on back row and can stop what you can do with their back row is hard, like if they have a whole bunch of Solemns set or something, or Infinite Impermanence. And speak of the devil, 3 Infinite Impermanence. It's another negate in the deck, and it's a really good one. Funny story about this card, I bought a case of Dual Power and pulled these 3 from it when the set came out. Then I bought another like 6 or 7 boxes of it from Barnes & Noble, and I pulled 4 more that I traded away. Like, it was supposedly short printed, but I seem to have gotten lucky with it. Hopefully I'll get lucky with Dual Overload as well, because I'm expecting a lot of short prints in that. Double Solemn Judgment, and double There Can Only Be One. This is good to stop your opponent from putting a lot on the board, since a lot of times decks will be running similar types of monsters, or similar types of monsters. So that helps. It doesn't really hurt you much because your Dragon Fusion monsters both are Dragon type, and then Makaba's a machine, so you can have both on the board. And then Solemn Judgment just for negating your opponent's stuff. Anyway, that's it for this deck profile. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.